What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 8 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Karl Franz Old World campaign. So as we saw last time, Karl defeated Festus's main stack and thereby, if not quite crippled the faction, left them only with the Brass Keep and their single main stack to their name, which we will most likely be knocking out, assuming that we win the fight, with Karl in this very turn. Otherwise, it was an episode with plenty of variety as we fought against many different types of foes, and I expect that variety to continue as we go on. Look at all those Imperial forests. Anyway, in terms of what we got to do this very turn, I think it's only potentially attacking Brass Keep, so we're going to jump on into that in a second. I guess we do have money to spend, but we can spend it after attacking. And the Cylostra issue remains, though we are going to start moving an army over here, and we'll probably start constructing several of our upcoming armies as well. The Nautical Nonsense Army for Nordland, though we will want to get the Man-Eaters from the Moot for that as well, as they would work nicely as a pirate unit, and probably the Grenade Army and the Artillerist Army as well. So, certainly stuff to do. Now, Karl, you're going to head to the Brass Keep, and oh, right, I promised a bonus episode today if we reached the long streak of the engagement threshold up to Saturday, and this is that bonus episode. Technically, we don't have to reach the engagement threshold on the bonus episode, but if we do, I will nonetheless bank the episode for when we drop below the engagement threshold, and you know, for every episode banked, that'll be an extra episode that we maintain and doing longer. So do keep it in mind if you enjoy these, and the engagement threshold remains 500 likes, 70 comments. Otherwise, I guess we're ready to go. Let's see those legendary Karlberg greatswords in action. Go. Alright, here we go. It'll be a bit before Karl gets steam tanks in order to act as artillery for his army, so we've no easy way to bring down these towers, nor the gates, so we're just going to have to work our way through them. Fortunately, neither Karl nor Deathclaw care about such things, and he is ready to bring Galmaraz down upon the head of the Chaos Lord, who foolishly does not have his bodyguard with him, taking about a quarter of his HP with the first blow and another quarter with the second. 2 more to go, and a Chaos Lord will be defeated. Gotta be a scary sight to see Deathclaw coming down upon you like this. And there we go, and of course Galmaraz, one of the most magical and powerful weapons in the setting. And there we go with that was almost insulting the way you just sort of knocked the Lord over. Anyway, too little too late, but the Manticore has arrived, and it'll be a little bit of action between them two, though I'd wager not for long either, as the Manticore rapidly loses 50% of its HP in the duel as well, like little sort of stagger animations that we've got going. And a couple more hits, we'll see the Manticore thrown back and defeated. Thrown back and defeated. No, dude, come on. Why? Alright, there you go. I don't know what that was, but he just wanted to delay gratification, I guess. Anyway, that's already 2 major targets knocked out, and 13,000 damage and 2.4k damage dealt as a gold value. Might as well keep on fighting. So Karl is going to get ready to land up on top of the wall, just waiting for a few more units to get down here. Oh, that was not an ideal way to land, but oh well. Alright, and obviously we're doing this because we're trying to make our way through that gate below. Also, this particular battle is the Karlberg Greatswords show. I haven't taken a look at them quite yet, but they're in there, and they're working away at that gate, which is down to 6,000 HP. We'll get them some playtime against the enemy as soon as we breach the gate. Of course, we are going to take a little bit of damage from the enemy towers, firing on our units below, but, well, it is what it is. it's still, in my opinion, very much worth it to save the turn. And oh, that's why Karl was moving like that. He doesn't want to bother in dealing with those Forsaken when there are better targets for him. And Deathclaw, a unit of aspiring champions, is up on top of the wall as well. Karl's going to hit them a few times and drop them to half of their HP. We're going to help out a little bit with that Plague of Rust as well, which, when combined with the Sundering Armor that Karl delivers with Galmaraz, means that the aspiring champions are down to a mere 30 armor and are having a pretty darn bad day. Alright, those guys are nearly out, and it's time for us to break through. So the Karlberg Greatswords arrive. And there we go, like that plate of theirs. And of course we got our heroes together with Bruckner in the center. I'm pretty sure Ulrika is in there somewhere as well, though it's kind of hard to spot her or really anybody but Bruckner under the Dragon Ogres and the Chaos Spawn, and frankly the roided out Chaos Dogs and Men as well. They're all big boys. Alrighty, and they are doing the smart thing here and attempting to block off the gate, which means we can't get all the Karlbergs in there, but there are plenty of enemies who hack their way through with those great swords of theirs, so we'll see how that legendary unit fares over the course of the battle. Tactically, until we've broken through the breach around the gate, there isn't too much to say, though it looks like we're well underway. Karl has taken out those aspiring champions and is working on the Forsaken now, which are down to about 25% of their HP. Sorry, I hit the mic and it might have made a weird noise or two. Anyway, our Gold Wizard is hovering up above, dropping the occasional Searing Doom down on the enemy clustered around the gate, but also providing his additional armor and debuffing the enemy as needed. As to whether it's needed remains to be seen. The Karlberg Greatswords, with the several heroes that we have working together, should be able to break through the enemy, and even if they aren't, then we can always help out a little bit by having Karl come down and help as well. Karl's going to activate Stand Your Ground on the units below. That'll help, well, pretty much everybody. And having defeated the Lord and those aspiring champions and the Manticore, some of the biggest threats on the battlefield are out. Alright, wading right into the center of the fray. Another Searing Doom's also going to come down on the enemy Forsaken, and we're going to follow that up with a little bit of the Soul Fire from our Warrior Priest. More enemies are moving on in, some of them of course are rallying back to the fray, and we are still attempting to make our way properly into the enemy settlement. Still want to get a few other units in here, a few other infantry at least, not just the Karlbergs. But they've been helping out and holding pretty impressively, taking about 15% of their damage so far and having dealt about 13,000 themselves. And there we go. Finally, we've opened up a proper sort of hole or breach in the enemy's lines, not just the wall. And as soon as the Karlbergs are grouped up or reformed, we're going to have them charge those Chaos Warriors and Forsaken. Alright, just want to take a quick proper look at the units. Alright, you gotta love the sort of classic Imperial unit look, and the greatswords are pretty nice as well. We'll see them working together with the Imperial foot and the regular greatswords eventually as well. And I am very interested to see what heights they will get up to once they're maxed out in terms of red line, in terms of their veterancy, in terms of our buffs, etc, etc, etc. Damn, still even the Forsaken making them look small, but the Forsaken have no chance against them. Well, the Chaos Warriors stand a little bit of a better chance. We got plenty of armor piercing available to us. And of course, once again, Karl is working on the enemy, and we are starting to move our first unit of Imperial foot into the enemy settlement as well. There's our Warrior Priest, finally a little bit easier to spot now that Karl and co have knocked out some of those larger units like the Dragon Ogres, which has, of course, as I say it, have come back. This is that same unit, but that is so heavily damaged and down to 3. Huh. There's only 6 models in Dragon Ogres? Was it always 6 or did it used to be 8? Maybe it did used to be 6, I don't remember. It's about to be 0 anyway. There we go, and Karl just looks at them menacingly and they all drop. Although as to whether they're more afraid of Karl or Deathclaw, I'm not entirely sure. Alright. Now we're well into the enemy settlement. The Karlbergs continue fighting. Great weapon versus great weapon against the Chaos Warriors of Nurgle. I guess these are just regular Chaos Warriors. But, you know, with Nurglite color scheme. Helping out. Ooh, was that a grenade dropping down on the enemy? Gotta be careful about that and tell our units not to kill off the Karlbergs. That would be unfortunate. Although they are heavily armored enough to not take too much damage, they don't have any missile resistance, so it's just armor. I wonder if any of our techs will give them missile resistance. I want to say that Imperial infantry in general get a 10% missile resistance from one of the techs, though I could be wrong. I'm gonna double check. Alrighty, well, either way, it looks like the enemy units that were all clustered around the gate are running out now, or, well, running away now. There are still plenty more in the enemy settlement, though. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A full half stack of enemies that are still at full HP, so plenty more enemies to cut our way through. I'm just going to make sure that we block up the various choke points so that the enemy can't attack us while we're trying to make our way into the enemy settlement. And can't have the Karlbergs, can't let the Karlbergs have all the fun. Here come the Imperial foot wading into the fray once again against the Plague Bearers, and we're not going to move the Karlbergs in to help here. First, they're going to cut down some Nurglings. I'm going to give them more screen time since this is their show today. And though, of course, Karl is moving along with them. And, oh, I did not mean to land the Gold Wizard. That's a -10 armor by virtue of the fact that he's not hovering over them. But on the bright side, the Nurglings are nearly dead. It looks like Deathclaw's having a lot of fun. 213 kills and 72,000 damage on Karl. Damn. That's, you gotta admit, that's pretty darn impressive. He's not a caster, but he is closing in on 100,000 damage. But Galmaraz does increase his splash attack power, which allows him to mince infantry and kill lords. I mean, it's Galmaraz. It helps you do whatever you want as long as it's killing things. I believe Galmaraz is the only weapon, unless I'm mistaken, that has, I want to say, 5 Dwarfen runes on it? Or 5 Master runes on it? Is it 4 or 5? I don't remember. Either way, it's you're not supposed to have more than 3 on a single rune item, but it was forged by a god, and I guess, well, irregular runesmiths wouldn't know how to do that sort of thing. Alright, and the Karlbergs are back. Gonna face off against some Plague Bearers now in a little bit of a one-on-one. I think if we can get a Lichbone Pennant, we're gonna pop the Lichbone Pennant on them. Legendary unit of great swords with magical damage will be really nice. I don't remember if we've gotten any Lichbone Pennants in this particular campaign, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on. Alright, out here we've got Forsaken fighting together with the Plague Bearers, but Bruckner is leading those Imperial foot against them. And this brawl has nearly turned completely in our favor. The bounce power is at about 90%. Karl is taking care of some trolls here. Probably not going to be any kind of issue for him. And Deathclaw, I don't think he's even... Okay, there we go. He's now used his healing potion, so the 10% damage that he's taken over the course of the fight has dropped down to 0. And he's looking pretty good. 83,000 damage now. I do like the fact that it is taking a significant time to brawl our way through the streets here, but it also does make sense, partly because, while the demonic units are physically resistant, and we're not really using magics or anything like that so much to kill off the enemies. Though, admittedly, we did use some magics by Searing Dooming the enemy around the gate. But, I mean, if they're gonna cluster around the gate in that manner, you gotta punish them at least to some degree for it, right? Anyway, the Nurglings, or rather the Plague Bearers, will melt away. And with that, the enemy army will shatter, and Festus's faction is defeated for good. Also, if you missed the announcement last episode, don't forget to vote for the next campaign over in the Posts tab. Oh wow, we got 1,000 prestige out of that. Well done. That is, and very nice amount of XP as well. We have all those XP bonuses now, which is allowing Karl to level up quickly. Having all the other Electors as our defensive allies is certainly proving very much worth it in the early game. In fact, once we confederate them all, we'll be gaining a significantly less amount of XP, which I like in the sense that it gives you an incentive to keep them around, but it also means that we probably want to get other allies to replace them, because XP is a very good thing. Anyway, Karlberg's debuted 40 Warhammer, 40,000 damage, and 153 kills. Very solid. Of course, Karl, 253 kills, 85,000, and 8.6k damage delta's gold value. He killed the Lord, he killed Aspiring Champions, he killed Chaos Spawn, he killed Dragon Ogres, he killed the Chaos Feral Manticore. Karl is an absolute monster, and he's not even through his red line, so he's gonna get even stronger. Very, very nice. And we'll give it back to Hawkland. Yeah, go for it, Hawkland. Enjoy. Hey, free bailiff. And a free servant, though that one doesn't really do too much for us, so I don't really care about it. Imperial Pegasus for Ludwig Schwarzhelm. Alright, you can hold on to it for now, but Schwarzhelm will be... Hey, there we go. Feckin' Knight's destroyed. Schwarzhelm will be... Do you mean to channel here? Do we have Mountain Pass attrition here? Apparently not. Alright, so just move forward. Just channel. What was I saying? He's going to be on a Griffin mount, Demigriff mount rather. He's going to replace Bruckner in this army because he's going to a different army, as I don't want to consolidate too much power in Karl's, as it's already pretty darn strong. Anyway, that went well. We do have the prestige, which means we will be looking to get Emperor of the Empire and upgrade those Imperial decrees. Next upgrade. We are waiting to do building next turn because we have the Dwarfen Ambassador to the Kara's Angkor, which will make us give us the ability to upgrade a bunch of Imperial capitals. In fact, maybe we save the rest of the cash that we have right now, minus one thing. Let's go to Fort Solace with, about you, Ingenious. And Mr. Ingenious, you are going to now be... Okay, let's go. Root Marcher, Inspiring Presence, Leader of Renown, Iron Disciplinarian, and Irrepressible. You'll be a recruiter. 2 reasons. Okay, also, you're gonna lose the Barded Warhorse. Actually, 3 reasons. Reason the first, Endless Tinkerer gives us research rate, and also gives us the global and local recruitment duration -1 for Empire Artillery and War Machines, which at Fort Solace, which has our gunnery location, is what we've got. The other reason is the Ingenious gives us character experience gain plus 250 per turn, plus the Inspiring Presence plus 100, which means that these guys should be able to level themselves up to 15 eventually, which is not too bad, and get us that little bit of extra bonus research rate that way. Oh, right, and let's have you recruit some, artillery. Namely, it's mortars that we need. Ooh, I did want to get another Hellstorm for Elspeth, but I guess it'll be faster to build it at Nuln, so we can just do a couple mortars. Oh, we can already do Hellblasters? That's going to be good for our artillery guy, which is going to move here to, have an artillery army. He's going to have artillery and most likely some pikes. Or probably actually spears, because we'll want to give him Grundle's Defenders. That's the artillery protecting unit. Physical resistance plus 20% for artillery and war machine, interestingly enough. So it'll also work for steam tanks. It wouldn't really work for land ships, however, because land ships have a tendency to move, unlike the steam tanks. Well, I mean, not as much. Land ships are closer to gigantic chariots than they are to big old tanks like the steam tanks. But anyway, that doesn't change the fact that we'll want spears, and maybe some halberds in there as well. I'm a sucker for building those halberds, because they're such a classic Imperial look. But anyway, let's build some, at least, mortars for now. Let's do 3. Some of them can go to artillery army, some of them can go to grenade army. The artillery army will also want war wagons to replenish the ammunition, so we could do war wagon mortars. I guess the grenade army... Well, the grenade army can have grenade mortars, so it doesn't need war wagon mortars. Although I will think about it. I just wanted to check here. So they have slightly smaller range, but obviously the ability to reposition. Ammunition, interestingly enough, is the same, except for the fact that, you know, mortars have... Wait, if the grenade army were to employ mortar war wagons instead of regular mortars... we could have the entire army be much more mobile than if we had to sit around and protect the artillery, which might be a good thing. Certainly something to think about. Alright, you know what? I kind of like that idea more. You know what? Stay here. I want to see what Cylostra does next turn. Don't build those. I'm kind of rethinking the way that we can construct that army. Anyway, garrison or not moved, unassigned skill points, building upgrade available, outpost available with who? Great Orthodoxy. Oh, we will want to build that, but right now it's not critical, as I think the money we have better uses for. And otherwise, we're ready to end the turn and proceed. Alright, oh! Did Golgi get destroyed? Oh, we were gonna have Elspeth kill him. Supervisor for whoever friendly is. You spent too long governing the place, but that's life. Faction destroyed man-eaters. I guess we didn't need Elspeth down here after all. Oh well. Imperial Pegasus for Volkmar Scout? No. We are not paying an extra 150-ish gold for that. You can scout with that. Alright, you need to get to the Sour Sea, so please. Oh, well, he's starting to draw close to Volkmar. 10 turns away, I'd wager. And we'll see if he manages to survive. Defensive allies, not yet. But it'll probably be something that we want to look into. How's our trade looking? Okay, no dice on that one. And on aggression... Jade Court. Yes, most definitely whatever... Oh, lovely. Alright, so they'll hopefully be friends. Darklands band. See what? Maybe we should defensive allies with them. They'll die eventually, but why not? We'll get the XP, and I kind of want to see what's going on down here anyway. It's not like we're threatened by anything that's happening in the Darklands at the current time, since it's too far away from us. What do we have here? Hunts Marshal's Expedition, Golden Order. How about Confederation? Oh, wow. Huh. You know what, we can't confederate any of the electors until we... I mean, one of these might be confederatable over the next turn or so, so we'll keep an eye on it. Alright, now, speaking of keeping an eye on stuff, Cylostra. Yep, as expected, she did sail out. Okay, well, that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Let's get the bordermen in here. Oh, wait, should we give you some kind of recruiting ancillary? I don't remember their names, but I know that they exist. Entertainer, that's probably not it. Charcoal burner, bailiff is public order, so you can actually have one of those as well. Hunter, light college, militiaman. Dolph Hertwigans, you don't need this. Alright, we'll do that. It's a little bit cheaper on the borderman here, like so. She might try to just land here, bypass us, and might potentially go to our now. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Alrighty, I guess you then... Well, start building by a couple mortars. I don't know why I said it like that, but you get what I mean. We'll wait on those, maybe. I think, anyway. Anyway, you, Waldemar... Remnants of Battle. Oh, Remnants of Battle should be not a battle, meaning you can go grab this even though you're, hopefully there isn't a rogue army, like, right there, or like a scaling army or something. But it looks like we're okay. I mean, go grab this, and... I'm gonna say... Sunken Chest. Pack sealed rations, nice. And then keep going this way. You are going to go where Cylostra is and get your own army going. Wolfric Ergiger, you are going to Norden. You will be the lord of our... No. You will be the lord... Oh. You know what? I'm going to have you go here. Out to sea so that you don't spread your plague to Norden, and frankly, you're kind of in the same situation. You are going to transfer all of the skirmishers here. And of course you picked up the plague, but we can reset you and then bring you back, because you're not leading any of these armies anyway. And I'd rather not spread it around. And the plague, I mean, you're just going to sit out here. This is a plague ship now, and it's just going to have to wait the 2 turns until it runs its course. Karl, you, I guess, are going to grab... You know what? How many turns? 7 turns, alright. I think I'd rather not waste Karl's time and sit here for that many turns. That's 3. He's probably better off starting to travel. Oh, actually, that reminds me. Well, we'll move some of the heroes out of his army afterwards. I want to grab this knight from Gosser here. Trade one of the halberds for the knight. I like so. And then keep going this way. Alright, you're gonna go this way. And oh, you probably don't. Will you suffer attrition here? Oh, you will suffer attrition. Oh, wow. Okay, that's annoying. Just deal with it then. It's mountain pass attrition? Yeah, it's mountain pass attrition. And we have a +7 Nurglite corruption, most likely due to the plagues adding Nurglite corruption, eh? Actually, maybe I should have kept this, because these guys might come back. Well, even if they do, Gosser will be there to immediately wipe them out. It's not like Karl is going to babysit the place. Anyway, Emperor of the Empire. Let's upgrade the... machinations, or Emperor's decrees, sure. And then we'll still need to wipe this out. Hopefully it's not a crazy stack or anything. I assume it's just basic Kossar piles, but you never know. Anyway, you... to Lockrefort. Like so. And it's basic stuff, so we'll auto-resolve it and occupy... Nope, we'll return it to Talabekland. There we go. Free Apprentice Wizard, we'll take it. And Talabekland, you will now want Keppelberg, which I guess is the next place you're going to head towards. And we can, I think, march stance. Granted, these guys probably do have a lot of armies running around being Skaven, but, you know. Alright, you. Encamp, you. Into the army. And we'll still want another Empire Captain in here, which is here. And then I think you're going to move like this towards Hazelhoff. We'll see how these guys react to it, because we know that there isn't anybody at Horno, because we checked, and we're just going to have to see. Let's grab Hammer of Sigmar, max out replenish troops, and then start moving through Safeguard. And then we should level you up as well. Flock of Doom is anti-Skaven, which is pretty solid. Let's get you Earthing. Lovely. Alright. And oh, I decided to give Gavin von Wolfen the Beast Slayer, the Drakwald Runefang, since this is our Drakwald army with the Drakwald Riders, and then ended up giving the Axe of Otwin, the Berserker, to Ludwig Schwarzhelm. He is the Emperor's champion, and I want him to have an insanely high melee attack and weapon strength. We'll build him out to be a sort of... well, powerhouse for killing single entities. Granted, Karl doesn't need it, but, you know, Karl's bodyguard is either the best or the second best swordsman in the land, so it's just lorefully accurate, people. Anyway. You guys, I guess, are kind of stuck here, because we're not going to grab Horno yet, so just sit around. I want to see how those Skaven react, and we'll get ready to transfer as needed. Elspeth. Well, now that these guys are dead, you have two choices. Choice the first being to go through Averland and into Sylvania. There is another option, however. The other option would be to go to Bretonnia and then start taking Orc territories there. Why? These factions... Well, this first faction has gotten confederated, so Paravent is gone. And the important thing is, now they no longer have a capital there, which means the territories of the... whatever we're calling this, Grauisland, we could take those for ourselves just by trading those settlements away from the Bretonians, which is much better than having to conquer Paravent. And I'm wondering if we can do the same thing with the Gisoro Bretonians, but we do need to have actual territories that the Bretonians want to trade, which means basically Mousillon, it means potentially Sigmarsheim, it means all of this stuff. Oh, wow. Bordelot Errant. They've lost Castle Bordelot. Oh, that's not good. I would actually like to keep these guys around. Gotta have even more cavalry to, you know, use, but, yeah, anyway, as I was saying, we could send Elspeth over there, because she is rather close to Bretonnia. The thing that's making me doubt it is obviously the fact that she wants to be fighting the Sylvania. On the other hand, though, she does always fight Sylvania. Pretty much a constant. And we'd have to probably build another army then to send this way. Amethyst. I don't know, maybe we don't send her to Sylvania then. And have somebody else, because lore accurate or not, if she does it every campaign, maybe it's good to do something a little bit different. Either way, she wants to sit here for a turn until... oh, 2 turns? Oh, I don't like that. No, we should have somebody essentially chase after her when transfer stuff. Yeah, we should move then. How many turns will this take? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll reach Sylvania, as opposed to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh wow, it's a long time traveling this way. You know what, I don't like that. She's a legendary lord with an expensive army. The longer time she spends traveling, the more time we're wasting. We can go through Everland. Plus this will, I guess, prepare us for confederating Everland earlier. Which ain't a bad thing either, because like I said, I want those ogres and I want those noble sons abroad. And Everland's probably the best of the provinces to confederate, not counting legendary lords. Anyway, friendly, you guys are good. Recruiter, you're going to recruit once Kurtzek moves to transfer stuff to Elspeth, and I believe we're good. So, let's do building. The important stuff is South Bank, Altdorf, we'll upgrade you, and then we'll switch you back to Imperial taxation. And then, well, there's probably several others. Ah, yes, Tom, and we can upgrade the city there, and then switch you to, I guess, Imperial taxation as well. All right, you know what? Let's actually go through the list. We'll hold off here. Well, it's never gonna get cheaper. Good lord, I really don't want to spend 7,000 gold on this, but it has to be done at some point. It is what it is. Alrighty, we're okay here. At least for now. East Nordland, we can upgrade Oldenlitz. Yes, and we no longer have the plague here, meaning we can switch you to, I guess... Oh, I guess we can upgrade this the next turn then. I didn't realize you weren't in Council of Burgomeisters. Don't want to waste the cash. You're okay. You are looking okay. Vorbergland is fine. Ah, here we go. Wiedebach. Do we want to upgrade you first? Ooh, 2.4k. Lovely. We should probably upgrade the iron smelter as well, and let's get to the money flowing. Good. Similar sort of situation here. We can upgrade the weaving house, we can upgrade the exotic hothouse. These things we can still upgrade to tier 2. Just not tier 3, because I once again think it's not super worth it. Kemperbad, we need to switch you back towards Council of Burgomeisters. You have a port, and it's always worth upgrading. Volgan, you can have your port upgraded, as well as grab that weaving house and that tannery. And alright, Dukelberg is good, at least for now. Word of Frost, and okay, there's probably other stuff that we could do, but we're more or less out of cash, so we're just going to hold off. Alrighty, looks like an end turn to me. Let's skip, and then turn. Alright, we're researching the upgrade, so yeah, we'll just wait for that. Hey, more fealty. Oh, at the loss of the prestige, of course, but we still gotta do it. Ancient stone circles have been discovered in your state, remnants of the old faith, which in a prior age may have involved a primitive form of nature worship and blood sacrifices. There is evidence of recent activity at these sites, indicating there are those who still practice the dead religion. The discovery of the monoliths and their recent use is angering the recognized cults of the Empire, who always seek to subvert any elder meaning, dismissing it as backward, regressive, and a distraction from the true religions. In the modern day, the cults have considerable political gravitas within the Empire, so their opinion should perhaps not be overlooked. What action will you take? Demolish the monoliths, fealty of all Elector counts +1. It would be prudent to appease the cults, despite the fact that destroying the monoliths is destroying a piece of our history. Well, that's depressing, but goodbye. Gotta have that fealty. Confederation Bloody Hands and Teeth Snatches. Ooh. Ally begins outpost construction. All Emperor's Decrees actions upgraded. And another coachman. Nice. And a woodsman. Ooh, hello. Okay, wait. Woodsman for you. Billings. More money. Beautiful. Just gotta keep the Marienburg upgrade flowing. Ooh. Has she landed? She has landed. Oh, okay, I wasn't expecting that. Do we need anything from here? I guess the question is, do we want anything to go... Oh, we can get Grendel's Defenders. Just because we know that they're going to go to that army. But nothing else here is going to go to that army. Everybody here is earmarked for very specific army types, so recruit this. Then, let's pick a... Well, actually, no, you know what? I will pick a tech in a second. I want to see diplomacy. How's that Confed looking? -12, and... it's rising again. He's probably recruiting. He lost his main stack, and now he's recruiting. Damn it, so you're keeping us... I mean, yes, we could force confederate them with the... with this, with the Unify, which now enables us to do this, yes? Yeah. The thing is, if we can confederate them the old-fashioned way without doing this, it's the better option, so I'm willing to wait a little bit. Also, I would like to see what the upgrades are here. So, recruitment cost minus 25, 5,000 XP now. Too popular. Ooh, that just got a lot stronger. Very nice. The target empire region. Okay, so basically doubles the effectiveness of every single one. What did the requisition? All Elector Count state troops will be replenished instantly in the... Oh, okay, so it basically took 5 turns off of this, which is great as well. Alright, well, we'll keep an eye on that. It cost us a lot, but it should eventually pay for itself. Elspeth, I guess since you're heading to the Vamps now. I could also have you fight against the Tomb Kings, but maybe we can ignore them. Why would you suffer attrition here? Oh, Zintian corruption? Wow. The AI is really not burning down those cults, so I guess we'll have to do it ourselves. Alright, fine, don't go through the Zintian territory, just go this way. And you have one more turn until your stuff is ready. That's Elspeth's steam tank. This is Karl's steam tank, so we need somebody to deliver it. Alright. I guess you're cheap. Third Marcher, Inspiring Presence. Grab Karl's steam tank. That's this one. And on you go. Oh, whatever. I'll try not to forget. Anyway, Karl.
I command here.
You do command here. I guess the question is this. Do we wait to attack these guys with you? It'll take another 6 turns. So we'd have to wait here for 5 turns, essentially, which I really don't like. But, well, not much we can do about it. I would like you to reach this place before these guys do, but it looks like they're going to reach it next turn, but maybe they won't grab it? We'll see. Yeah, these guys are being really annoying. But oh well. I think you're still gonna go down here. I will then push you northward towards Azag the Slaughterer. Anyway, you're going this way. Try not to suffer attrition while you move. You are still plague shipped, and how many more turns you got for this? 4 turns. Okay, it'll be a bit. Alright, in Cylostra, we're going to attack you with a recruiter Albrecht in a second. I just want to... You know what? Let's attack right now.
So many ideas.
And she's not going to run. Pyrrhic victory. The Mourngul's in Cylostra herself, and the damned paladin... Bartholomew, whatever his name is going to be a real annoyance here. I'm just going to hope that we can pull this off without everybody running. The issue here is going to be fear and terror. Remember, garrison units are very weak in that regard. And obviously they're not buffed. And of course, bringing Cylostra down with her 12,000 HP on that big ol' crabby boy. Let's see if we can manage to pull it off. Go.
Battle schematics, and victory shall be ours!
Alrighty, that it shall, or at least, perhaps it shall, let's say. Depends on how this goes. Obviously, as I said before going into the battle, we have the issue of about, let's say, a full quarter of the enemy army having the ability to cause terror, even ignoring the high damage dealing of the enemy range. The terror and the tankiness of the various units is going to be particularly annoying. The Mournguls, stalking and unspottable on top of that, have terror. Cylostra does. Mr. Bartholomew Ghost Knight. Robert Bartholomew, alright, has a terror and the sirens as well. Plus, you also got to remember that Cylostra is a summoner to some degree. She can get the ghosts of the past up and running, summoning repeatedly or twice units of damned knights errant, which are really annoying to deal with. And you got to remember that in SFO, ghosties are at 75% physical. Oh my lord, 99% physical resistance. So yeah, that's gonna be a problem. And of course, immunity to contact effects and healing. And then yeah, the ghosts of the past gonna be a problem as well. Plus, she can also summon the denizens of the deep, the rotting Prometheans, with her spell work. All that aside, if it starts going poorly, we can show off a sort of tried and true old Total Warhammer strategy. I don't really see it much from me nowadays, but it is still very useful to have in your sort of repertoire for those relatively new to the game, especially. And that strategy is essentially attack, retreat, attack. If our army seems like it's taking too much damage, we can do as much damage as we possibly can to this enemy army, and then simply withdraw off the battlefield, especially if our units seem like they're just, you know, being shattered, or not shattered, being routed due to fear and or terror at the drop of a hat. And certainly something to think about. But anyway, what we're going to start the battle off with is having our mortars. Now, the way that we've deployed them is all the way back here for two reasons. First of all, we wanted them far enough away from our reinforcing army so that Cylostra didn't charge the army, as we want the artillery that we got there in the range to take up positions and be able to fire. The other thing is that we can use this cliffside to essentially protect these guys from any kind of direct fire, meaning that enemy carronades, their cannons, and all of their infantry, their missile infantry, can't fire on our mortars, but we can fire over the cliffside. And even we're probably partially safe from enemy mortar fire as well, as some of their shots would have hit the cliffs. So it's very nice to be able to position indirect fire artillery in this manner, and our mortars have nearly destroyed those of the enemies at this point. Unfortunately, we're most likely going to have to sacrifice them, but I'm perfectly happy to do so. Speaking of sacrificing, if we need to, similar to the Sunmaker in battle previous, we do have the Grendel's Defenders, which are a regiment of renown, and thus will come back if they die, so we're free to sacrifice them if needed as well. Anyway, over on the left flank, our reinforcements have arrived. We're going to run directly towards the zombie pirate gunnery mob with handguns. Not the pistols, but the handguns are the critical units to kill in the enemy army. It would take too much sort of resources to kill the ghosts, though we will want to kill Cylostra herself. 34 physical resistance, 15 missiles, so it's not so bad, but she has insane amounts of armor at 169 and lots of health, plus presumably some kind of healing as well. But what can you do? The handguns, however, will dish out plenty of damage to us, so we're going to charge them with our unit of swordsmen, and then they should be able to cut through them with pretty decent ease, as these are the handguns and not the variant with the pistol and cutlass. Anyway, we're going to do the same thing over on this side as we charge into more of the enemy units, just trying to stop them from firing away. Looks like Cylostra has indeed summoned those denizens of the deep, and we're going to block them off with Grendel's Defenders and the units of Rotting Prometheans. And it looks like the Mournguls have made it towards us as well. Here come the Sirens, and there we go. We've got the Damned Knights Errant summoned as well. 80 units, oh my. 13,000 HP and 89% physical resistance. Wow, that's actually a lot of HP, considering that they have the huge resistance. Usually the HP on ghost units is a lot lower. I got about 9,000 on the Sirens. Though the Sirens have only 60 units, which means each individual unit probably has more HP. But yeah, the ghosts are going to be a huge issue, so yeah. Our melee units are routing, but only have lost about half HP, so their routing is currently fine. Should we choose to withdraw, we can withdraw the range units and our artillery, allowing them to survive, which is the main deal. All the while we work on the enemy, killing off the enemy artillery as their mortars and carronades are now gone, and now focusing down all of the zombie units while largely ignoring the enemy missile ghost troops. Going for their missile troops, their zombie missile troops, and ignoring their ghost troops. And of course, not ignoring Cylostra herself, a few of our units of crossbows and our unit of handgunners, and most importantly is attacking her. The Damned Paladin is going after the handgunners. Oh, they go down to half HP and then get terrified. Now, hopefully they actually don't run off the edge of the map yet. We're not ready for that yet. Alright, Charmed unit. More units are probably fleeing in terror, but that's alright. Just gotta keep on working away at Cylostra, who's dropped down to about 40% of her HP, and all the while our artillery is still firing away at the enemy range. Alrighty, taking a little bit of damage on the Master Engineer, who's now also terrified, but that's alright. He took a few hits from Cylostra and sort of, if not quite pinned the Rotting Leviathan in place, at least kept her distracted long enough for a few more shots to come down and for us to bring the big boy down. Lovely. And of course, Cylostra herself, no more casting, and thus she won't get the second summon of those damned Knights Errant off. Speaking of the Knights Errant, we're going to try to distract them as best we can with the Empire Captain. He doesn't hope to really do damage to them, but they're a Lance variant unit, and they're going to take a long time to do damage to him. And it's better that than them charging in and attacking our range units, which are currently still busy trying to knock down every single zombie unit if they can. Funnily enough, the damned Paladin charged our artillery pieces, and you can see that they're not hurt at all. What happened is he charged the artillery crews, they immediately got terrified and simply fled the battle. Not surprising. We're going to manually withdraw the Bordermen now, and they are hovering around 50% of their HP. But they've got 54 out of 80 troops, so most of their troops will survive. And this is sort of the element, the critical element of the withdraw, or attack, withdraw, attack strategy, in that you can take a lot of HP damage as long as you don't lose a lot of models. Your units will recover their HP based on the number of models that they have and not the HP that they have. And there we go. Suddenly, we manually withdraw the remaining units of range here, and they were relatively close to the edge of the map as well, minus this one unit, which is probably going to take damage by virtue of still being on the field. But we've taken out about, I'm going to say 3/4 of the enemy army, and I'm willing to bet that about half of our army has survived in terms of its HP. And the critical thing here is the enemy wasn't besieging us, so we're free to attack again. Gotta remember that the garrison is coming in as a reinforcement. Alright, we achieved most of our goals and were able to withdraw. We had to sacrifice Grindel's defenders, but that's not a big deal since, again, similar to the Sunmaker, they're a regiment of renown, so I'm willing to sacrifice them a lot more than other troops. The garrison is more or less fine. Cylostra did return due to the Dead Rise, as did at least one of her units, but her artillery are gone, and her army is in pretty bad shape, while ours is still pretty okay, which means you are... Huh, you're gonna back off like that? Huh, that's interesting. But that doesn't matter. Do we want to maybe get, let's say, something cheap that we would otherwise never use, like the Death Jacks? We need something to knock out those Mourngulls, which managed to rack up 250 kills over the course of the battle. You are still probably going to keep moving through Headhunter, and I mean, I guess we could hold the line. The biggest issue there in that particular battle was fear and not the amount of damage dealt. But then again, I don't really want to waste points, meaning we'll just use the Death Jacks for this purpose. Plus, we preserved the Bordermen. It was so weird seeing the artillery route off screen like that, but what can you do? Anyway, we just have to do the same thing, which we should be fine at doing. I do wish that we could have the garrison not come in as a reinforcement, but I imagine that we will be okay. Go again. Alrighty, here we go, round 2, and this time the enemy has barely a stack remaining, about half of a stack, with several units, including Cylostra, severely damaged. Cylostra did go down last fight, and we've got about a half a full stack, or we've got our garrison stack, and most of our troops are pretty okay still. And that's the beauty of this strategy, if and when you need to use it. Of course, we also got the Death Jacks now, which are going to help. I'm not so sure that we actually need them here. I'm pretty sure that we can win without them, but I think as an insurance policy, it's not a bad idea to employ them here as well to guarantee the thing. After all, I'm not going to be able to perfectly predict whether we would win here. There's always going to be a margin of error. A sig margin of error, if you if you will. Oh, I'm so stupid. Anyway, battle-wise, we're going to try to annoy the enemy here by attacking them from multiple sides. we have the mortar, again, deployed behind the cliffside. The main stack will come in over on this side of the map to try to get as much range as possible and as much time as possible for our Hellstorm rocket battery to fire upon the enemy. We're going to sort of shadow the enemy army with the Master Engineer and the Borderman, both of which do splash damage and are hopeful to hit the enemy from this side, while the Deathjacks, which are a sniping stalking unit, will try to hit the enemy from this side as well, which must be incredibly annoying. So it looks like the AI is milling around right now, doesn't really know what to do or which direction to go for. Kind of just sitting around in a circle. I'm willing to bet, however, it will quickly reposition itself to react to our main stack because there's simply more units there. But while it's doing so, it's going to be taking blasts from our rocket battery, which, again, because it fled with full HP, withdrew together with the mortars. Both of these artillery pieces are perfectly fine. Now, we have moved the rest of our army forward, and we can see most of them are between 50% and a quarter of their HP. We can see the crossbows are all pretty much at full HP because we manually withdrew them in order to preserve theirs, however. The Empire Captain did get badly beat up last fight by the Knights, but hopefully that's okay. Anyway, looks like the rocket battery has already started one of the zombie pirate gunnery mobs melting away. We've also started positioning those Deathjacks and are getting ready to have them do some work. There we go, there's a zombie pirate gunnery mob here, and I'm going to fire at them with the enemy unable to see them due to the fact that they have stalk and snipe. I wonder how much range bonus we get out of Marcus Wolfheart once we confederate him. As in, I wonder whether he can put the Deathjacks to actually decent use. They're still kind of a meh unit, and that's why, well, we don't really care about them so much. But anyway, they'll do a little bit of work here, and admittedly, against the undead, the Discouraged thing is pretty darn helpful in the sense that it will allow us to melt the enemy a little bit faster. Speaking of melting the enemy, again, we have the Bordermen over on this side, and they found an isolated unit of zombie pirate deckhands mobs. Well, those grenades will fly and obliterate them. I don't believe the zombie pirate deckhands mobs have any chance of actually reaching us. It does look, however, that the enemy will peel away its damned paladin and go after our master engineer. So we're going to try to back off rather than fight in melee for obvious reasons. Balance of power remains about 50, well, let's say 55% in our favor, but the enemy's zombie numbers are rapidly dwindling. Our artillery has nearly cleared out one, our Deathjacks have nearly cleared out another, and then the Bordermen have nearly defeated a third. Again, when you need to, it can pay off to confuse the AI by attacking it from every direction at once. Let's sort of split up the army. And generally speaking, you gotta remember that I often or normally play and use battle line tactics because battle lines look cool, and that's pretty much it. It's easier to get good cinematic shots and appearance-wise for the, well, for the cinematic battles, but battle lines are oftentimes not the best sort of strategy for your troop deployments and all that. Distributed deployment is generally what you want to do when you're actually worried about potentially losing a fight. Not all the time, depending on the fight and the enemy, and I mean, obviously there's a bunch of factors, but many a time. Anyway, looks like Cylostra has been brought down by concentrated range fire. The other troops have closed, and she just managed to summon both of her units, the Rotting Prometheans and the Damned Knights Errant on the field. Fortunately, we can completely ignore the Rotting Prometheans as they are a summoned unit and will simply melt away after a time. The Damned Knights, however, despite being a summoned unit, are the type that does not melt away, and we will need to actually either kill them or possibly kill off everything else on the map, and hopefully they will crumble away together with the dead paladin or damned paladin. Mourngul's gonna still have to work through those. And man, every time I see Mourngul's, well, really every time I see every undead unit, it makes me want to play undead again. I know I'm biased since Vampire Counts are by far my favorite faction, but yeah. And I miss playing in the way that I played Vlad as opposed to Manfred, where Vlad vassalized all the Order factions. As opposed to Manfred, which wasn't super friendly with the Order factions for obvious reasons. But it also made the two feel very different from each other in their campaigns, which I admittedly appreciated quite a bit. And plus the idea of all the Lizardmen factions serving Vlad amuses me. Anyway, bounce power's at about 70% in our favor. Another enemy to focus it down with range in the way of Cylostra. Their gunnery white, which our crossbows and our deathjacks alike will pincushion here. Their accuracy obviously leaves something to be desired, as it's a combination of garrison troops and just basically garrison troops, no buffs to accuracy, etc., etc., no veterancy. But that's alright, sheer weight of fire will see this gunnery white destroyed reasonably quickly. Bounce of power continues to move our way. Looks like another unit of zombies has been wiped out. Nothing else for the bordermen to do over on this side, but those damned knights, our knights errant, are still doing a good job. Riding around. There's nobody else to target, unfortunately, with our mortars, really, so they're just going to block off and annoy the enemy. And we do have to try to put in the work to kill off those knights errant. And of course the sirens as well, slowly but surely, 94 physical resistance. Now they take the minimal amount of damage from our units. Oh, I heard these guys yell about Grail companions. For some reason I assumed that the ghostly paladins or the ghostly knights, just really ghostly units, would be silent, but I guess not so much. And another nice charge through the crossbows, but we're not so worried. We once again have distributed our forces to a decent degree, and they should be firing at the enemy from different angles. The knights are down to about 30% of their HP, and the sirens and down to about 50, and the bounce of power remains at about 70% in our favor. Hopefully the Empire Captain can keep distracting them, and admittedly, again, we don't care about any of these units because they're garrison units. It does look like at least a couple of our melee infantry are pretty much screwed, but they're being sacrificed here for good reason. The Deathjacks have also completely run out of ammunition at this point, which means you are now melee infantry there, Deathjacks. Too bad they don't have Discouraged on their melee attacks as well. Hopefully they could just distract the enemy a little bit and allow us to get a few more shots off with our crossbows or our bordermen. And there we go, it looks like the knights and the sirens are both melting away. Of course, the enemy hero is still riding around, but it's not super critical that we kill him, as he should start melting away as soon as the rest of the enemy melt. And it does look like the insurance policy of getting the Deathjacks in here did pay off reasonably well. And the knights are out, the sirens are out, and only Robert Bartholomew remains. He's going to charge on in, but we can simply just bog him down, killing Deathjacks or whatever other units. As he'll melt. Does he have any recovery on him? He does not, so he has no way to heal either, and is now disintegrating on top of it all. A couple more hits, a couple last charges. And, in fact, it was probably a good thing that our Lord is distracting the enemy Paladin for so long, as the Paladin was otherwise unable to contribute to the fight and was not able to send our units fleeing in terror. Lovely. Alright, there we go. That was pretty neat. I haven't had to bother to use the attack withdraw attack strategy since... I don't know, I don't even remember using it in Total Warhammer 3. I mean, I have so many thousands of hours in this one that I must have, but I remember using it a lot more back in Total Warhammer 1 and to some degree Total Warhammer 2, but 3 hasn't really necessitated it a lot. Still, does work well when on the occasion that you need to. A lovely work. And we'll take the money. It's not like we really care about the replenishment, so pardon those captives, yes. And Cylostra, the dead rose twice in a row. I feel like there should be a limitation where the same lord can't the dead rise twice in a row, especially since I think you now can't kill her.
No, never.
And there's nothing in this army that would allow you to do so unless we were to get another regiment of renown like the Silver Bullets, which might be able to. Morn goes unspottable. Do you have your horse yet? You do not have your horse. Or do you? Yes, you do. Okay.
Upgrades are vital.
It's kind of annoying to have to fight her again. I guess if we could... You know what? It's 1,500 gold. It's not a big deal. Hey, it's defeated... It's actually a pretty solid defeat trait. But I was going to use you as a recruiter, and frankly, your regular trait is kind of meh, so that hasn't really changed. Just out of curiosity, can you just grab the silver bullets briefly and then auto-resolve it? They're the cheapest things here, right? Or we could do the Huntsman, which are anti-large as well. Let me just see here. They're waiting for wolf hearts, so it's going to be a bit. They do have stock, they do have fire whilst moving. Yeah, we'll do these guys there. Slowing her down is going to be the bigger issue. I think. Yeah. I mean, we could fight it. I think with this, they should just be auto-resolvable, though. Yeah, heroic victory. Unsurprising. And just auto-resolve it. I think that's enough of that. Because even if it didn't work out, we could just withdraw again. Well, I mean, it's only fair. If the AI uses the annoyance of having their lord come back twice in a row, we get to do that annoying tactic as well. Anyway, we no longer need you two, so we'll pop you out. It's faster to just get them back up and running in Wolf Heart's army once we get it back up. Yes. Alrighty, so that went well. Anyway, and let's see what we've got to do now. We are going to continue recruiting with you. Let's get a couple of those mortar war wagons, or do we want to spend a little bit more cash? Well, you know what? Let's move everybody else around. We'll see what we have left after all of that. Dolph, you still have to head to Kappelberg. That has not changed. Switch out of encamp stance. I would really prefer you not to get ambushed, actually, but... Oh, you gotta be kidding me. They're going down here now. Oh, Skaven. Alright, you can at least reach this army and you should be able to knock it out without any trouble. But then, yeah, I think we can't reinforce, so you're gonna go here. What do we have in the actual army? Oh, it's clan rat garbage. Okay, then we could just auto-resolve it. Alright, goodbye. Free XP for these guys. Ooh. Yeah, alright. We can actually split you off into double army very quickly at this rate. Alright, pardon those captives. You're going to suffer attrition here, I take it, because of the... Alright, you can channel you... Oh, they're going to try to grab Horno for themselves. Good, good. You take Horno. You can hold on to that until we delete it to Vasily. You can hold on to the Light College Acolyte. Gavin. Assuming that we don't go after Medable, who's going to take a Casino most likely, just not going to invest in it. Whose caravan is this? Darklands Rebels. Oh. Alrighty, you will go to Hazelhoff then. The capital is at Mordheim. You can... Okay, there's nothing here, which explains... Okay, you can... Yeah, return it to Elector. Let them invest in it. Oh! Again, I just realized I should be careful about the... raiding. Who's raiding? They're raiding their own territory? Now, who's raiding this? We did see the changeling nearby as well, so we do have to be wary of that. Anyway, stay here. Hazelhoff is... Oh. A rebellion would pop up at Krugenheim, so go near Hazelhoff. And be wary of the changeling. Another tradesman could find, though. You can have the tradesman. Assuming that warrior priests can actually hold tradesmen, I'm not entirely sure. Tradesman. Only lords can hold... Oh, really? Okay, well then. You get a tradesman. Frankly, you'll have to probably swap... You know what? No, we should put that in either Recruiter Lords or Governor Lords, which are slightly different, but functionally actually pretty much the same. Anyway, so yeah, Dolph. And then I guess you will proceed up to Kappelberg. I'm willing to bet that since their capital is at Mordheim, they probably won't have a full stack here, and it'll be poorly defended. You, Jürgen, are plague shipping for a while yet. Friendly, you are going to have to stay here until we get rid of Medable. Although I guess what you could do is move through Liske, and then go to Asino through this direction if, depending on how this guy reacts. I think maybe that's a good way to do that. A Recruiter Van Groog. The rest of us is fine. You're fine. And Volkmar Scout, yes. Keep on scouting. Head to that Sour Sea. Huh, actually it might be faster to just go by land. Actually not entirely sure. Looks like it'll be slightly faster to go by sea. Okay, by sea it is then. By the looks of it, at any rate. Anyway, let's do the tech. Or, wait, once this guy stops moving, I just assume that he has. There we go, techs. And now, we did want to get the various ambassadors, but we are not in, you know, severe need of them right now. It's only 2 turns to get the supply wagons and the cav armor. And the ordnance canisters and teachings of Techless, experience for spellcasters. Ooh, we'll actually want this soon because we're starting to build up tier 4 settlements and they'll all want wizard conclaves. But it isn't super necessary right now. We're waiting on Venerate Shalia until we can get the, or until the Seal the Crown thing has disappeared in 3 turns. So we got a little bit of time for that. And we do want the assembly lines. I like the idea of buffing up our infantry and all of our armies, but assembly line will still probably be worth more than any of those, so we're going to still focus that. It's 20% extra money, essentially. So we gotta do it. Alrighty, let's see what else we got. At least this way we've bypassed having to invest in... Okay, well, we're ignoring Drakwold. We were able to bypass having to invest in a proper stack to defend against Cylostra, which is a real boon in and of itself. Oldenlitz, you're fine. We'll keep all of the money-making buildings at tier 2 for now. And once we built everything up to tier 2, then we'll start building everything up to tier 3 and whatever else we need to do. Alright, this looks good. Oh. Yeah, no, I just needed to double check the commandments. Kutenholz and Delbert, yes to your upgrade. Grunberg, yes, we'll upgrade you because we want the, well, actually, we want both of you. We got a port and we've got the lumber yard there. River Telebeck, you can be upgraded to tier 2, good. Vorbergwerk, you're a yellow territory, so we're ignoring you for now. Ubersreich, ready to go up to tier 4, which means a wizard conclave. Expensive, but may as well get started on it, and the rest of this is fine. The Black Pit, I would actually like you to upgrade as well, so we'll do that, and then we'll go back to host Festag with you. Alright, Glendoro, Schlaghugel. That's a yellow territory, I think we can still not bother investing in it. At least not yet. It'll come. Our economy is growing. And so are our armies. We've got our first tank, we've got... Ooh, wait, I just want to double check what our Elector Count state troops are looking like. Okay, so everybody's on cooldown, that's good. And yes, we can reset them, but we have other uses for our prestige either now or shortly. Let's skip our way to the next turn. Oh wow, an end turn with no event. It feels so strange. Anyway, Metabel is on the approach to Asino. You can give chase while allowing Talabekland to retake Horno. Well, of course, this guy will run. I assume we can't chase him down with you. No, but close to it. You can head into Asino. I don't imagine that. Yeah, he can't take it. Not with clan rats. And just in case, though, let's grab you Grand Hammer of Sigmar. What are you again? Oh, yeah, you're fearless, so it doesn't really matter what you have because you're going to be deleted. You're just here to ferry these troops, minus the Empire Captain, Drill Sergeant, which will be of use. You stay here, move towards this guy, and then channel as well. Ooh, rank 15, meaning we can get one of you. Now you're defensive. You are probably going to go with Vanguard. Like I said, I want to reward this guy, and he's going to make use of the great swords in order to do that. Might as well get leader of men. 90% sure it's going to be Vanguard, but we'll wait a little bit before we do. And just in case there's other things that... other things that we could do there. Anyway, you, I guess, are going to start moving towards Mordheim, then. You know what? I think you can march stance. I don't see it super likely that these guys have too many more armies running around, so we should be able to just move towards it. I wonder if they're at war with Draika. They are not at war with Draika. I do see Draika's at war with Karakadrin, who has taken a territory from, well, us, in a way. So I don't like that, but we'll hopefully be able to switcheroo and swap it back to Imperial hands. Auto-resolve. And occupy. No, a return to Elector. At least it's Talabheim, so it's their main territory, so they will hopefully be investing in it. There will be a rebellion popping up at Krugenheim shortly. Hopefully they have to besiege. Just in case they don't, we'll have to pay attention. We are also likely to attack Draika shortly. Meaning, I guess you're going to go up this way, wherein we'll be using you to attack Draca from the north, while everybody, or whoever else is down there, attacks from the south. Alright, Relic Sword, good. Karl, I would like you to proceed to Lubrecht, or at least get closer to it. You can channel while doing so. It would be nice if you lost those plagues as well. Don't trespass as yet. Alrighty. And we'll get ready to take these to rightfully ours territories. Hey, they didn't grab this place. Alrighty, well, we're gonna use the money to grab it for Hawkland. It'll still be a number of turns before we actually have to head over here, so we'll return this to Elector. This doesn't cost us anything this way, and then we'll go in camp, we'll heal up, we'll kill off the rebels that appear here at Brass Keep, and then we'll move here to declare war on these guys and take Imperial territory back in 5 turns. Alright. Looks good. Governor Billings doesn't need to move. Jurgen, you can sit for whatever time it takes the plague to go away. Kurt Sek, I would like you to do 2 things. First of all, transfer the 2 war wagons to Recruiter Van Grue. And just out of curiosity... Oh, we can build a Hellstorm. You know what? Who can build it cheaper? Out of curiosity. You can build it for 990. You can build it for 990. Alright. Build a Hellstorm. This is for Elspeth. I'd like her to get a second tank, but we can't do it right now. And then the Hellblasters and other artillery are going to go into our artillery army, which is upcoming. Alright, the rest of that feels good to me. Okay, who is up next? Waldemar, you are still plague shipped up, but you can move just past Seathil. Just make sure you don't get caught by Dastan Coldeye, as that would be unfortunate. Elspeth, you are well on the way to Sylvania. Do we go for Schrammleben or do we go for Schwarzhofen? Yeah, maybe we'll go down here. It'll cause us to trespass in these guys' territory a little bit, but it also doesn't matter over much anyway. Alright, oh, I should... Wait, can I... No, stop. Can I put you into channeling? No. Too late. Should have done that earlier, but oh well. Not a big deal, at least I hope not. Recruiter is fine. Other recruiter is fine. At least for now, minus the possible need for 2 artillery pieces. It's just that with the other armies still on the approach, it's going to take them a while to get there, so it isn't critical that we do it immediately. Alright, go on, Volkmar. Scout, you're nearly there. Ooh, speaking of their Imperial factions, minus 10.5, minus 17. Okay, you guys are annoying. Alright, let's see if anybody else wants to be friends slash... get into any kind of agreements with us. No. I don't think I want any of the military alliances, although admittedly Karakadrin and Karazakrak, we have no alliance with them whatsoever right now. Oh! Look at that! They're... Oh, of course, now that they're going up to territory that we need, they're going to actually start... well, we don't need it, but... I think... Is it part of the Eckendorf territory? That's the territory that we want. Maybe it isn't. Maybe that's here. Alright, well, as long as Grimgor holds it... Oh! We could actually send Elspeth down there to fight the orcs. Well, it's probably better to wipe out Sylvania first, but anyway. You know what? I think we'll do the military alliance with Karazakrak. 1, for the ally, 2, to have vision of what's going on down here, and 3, because we will want a lot of dwarfen units in various armies, so, yeah, no. And hopefully we can just trade the mountain territories back for these territories. Ooh, see Gorbad's running around. Alrighty, do we want the Karakadrin military alliance as well? They're at war with Draca, which we are going to be ourselves shortly, so let's do that.
You are welcome here.
Alright. And do we give these guys one more turn? I don't want to keep delaying the Confederation, but I'd really like to, once again, do it the old-fashioned way. Do we still have the cooldown with the upgrades having happened? Unify, still 5 turns, so that at least has not changed. Wolfhard is still alive. And I don't like him or care about him enough to bother with going after him over Gelt or Volkmar. I would like more than anybody, but will probably be more than 5 turns in getting down there. Gelt holds a bunch of territory that we don't want or need to deal with, so I'm honestly inclined to say Averland is the better pick pretty much immediately. I think we do Averland, guys. They got some ogres as well, and well, maybe next turn, because this will engender a lot of admin. Well, I'm going to give Geltenka one more shot. One more turn before we confederate somebody else. Okay, yeah, we'll probably start upgrading those to tier 3. This is okay. I want to upgrade the cattle ranch. I would like to also, if possible, find any more main territories that need upgrades. Keep that economy going. And Asino, you're next. There we go. Very nice. Vorbergland, Eilhart. Yes. Good for you. Mheim Road, you are going to go for your clothier. River Talebek, Torpen, yes to the paved roads for obvious reasons. Schoppendorf, or wait, no, this is Schadensumpf. You are gonna start with nothing. We're going to cancel Burgomeisters first, and then we will build stuff. And Dukelberg is fine until we build everything, and... Alright, I guess we now have spent enough money to start upgrading tier 3s everywhere. With the possible exception of Marienburg, because it's doubly the expense. Let's do... It's only an extra 100 gold per turn. How much does this do these cost again? Oh, we have to replace this with the... Okay, fine. And we can build these here. They cost 5.2k. Man, if only we could get at materials at sea again and just build a ton of these everywhere, that would be fantastic. I think bonus control is also really worth our time. But anyway, let's do the Tailors Guild. Or guilds, I should say. Now let's start on them. And you know what? Maybe Marienburg, we should just start upgrading it. Just build all 3. There we go. And that just takes care of all the money, so it made it slightly easier, even if it is crazy expensive. Garrison Lord not moved, unassigned skill points, and let's end the turn, see what the Skaven do. And regardless what they do, next turn we're probably going to confederate either Averland or one of the legendary lords. So let's find out which. Underway interception. Oh, poor little ratlings. You're dead. Obviously, we don't need to fight them. 2 weak, and we'll take the money.
Killed a few more. Nothing to it.
All right. Stirland and Sylvania. We genuinely don't really care about Sylvania, so I'd rather say Stirland +1. Alright, Ratcatcher, Ella begins outpost construction, me killed in battle, Griffin for Theodric von Bulletin, ready for duty, somebody, and, oh man, this guy's gonna take all of Drake's territory before we get to, hopefully, hey, what the heck are you doing, man? Would you please take Horno? Why would you go over there and not occupied? AI. Why must you be like this? Anyway, ooh, we're very close to Gavin and transferring the stuff that we need to transfer, so that's good for you. I mean, you can still help take the territories over, but we need to split you off into multiple armies soon. Especially with these guys having racked up enough XP to be transformed into various things. Alrighty, so moment of truth. I would like to see... The Golden Order is ready for a confed. I guess they're a little bit worried about being wiped out by Gorbad Ironclaw, aren't they? Alright, well, that's what we're going to do then. Golden Order, yes to the confed. Join Confederation.
Or so they tell me.
Though a lot of the territory there we're probably going to trade away rather than keep, because it's going to be an issue. Clan Angrand, and ooh, we immediately get trade agreements available. I would prefer the Jade Court, but yeah, we could do Clan Angrand as well. Defensive Alliance, and do this, and give us your money while you're at it. Yeah. Alright, like so. Hopefully that won't force us into a war with Teclis, but, you know, with them all fighting the same factions, it might be okay, I hope. We shall see. Ideally without the need to betray. Then, the other thing that we'll want to do, the important thing, the super important thing, the Golden Order is confederated, and we should be able to do a double confed unless they fix that. Nope. Alrighty, I'm still not sure whether it's a bug or it's intentional, but the thing is, I want more state troops on field as fast as possible because they'll give us a bunch of additional troop types and new army compositions, which I am all about. Gotta have that variety. Plus, Averland is the best confederation since it gives us a bunch of things. So, ow. Wait, we only have 9 fealty with them? So, do we actually need to? Or do... I guess we're about to find out. Perform... Or will it break and not work if it's if they're not up at 10? I have no idea. Let's find out.
Very well.
No, they'll still Confederate. I guess the upgrade means that they don't need to be at 10? Okay. Well, ally loses outpost, that's all fine, and our money situation is horrific now, but we get some free ogre bulls. Can these be upgraded? No, unfortunately not. But we'll keep them, and we got at least one of the Grand Cauldron regulars, which we're going to send to Nordland. Alrighty, now, this means that we've got two new Elector counts. One, a growth for all provinces. Yes, this is why Averland is so good. An Elder of the Moot gives us weapon strength plus 21 fighting against vampire count, so that's interesting. Unfortunately, the other armies down here are already... What does this give us? Casualty punishment rate, cooldown for spells, and... the Grand Cauldron Irregulars. This... Wait. Corruption reduction. Cooldown for spells, eh? Okay, wait, I want to see about Gelt in a second. I want to see if he has the same item. I don't remember what slot his items occupy, which is the main issue. That's a talisman. Alright, Gelty. Assuming you don't die to Gorbat. Oh, wow, he's been building Knights of the Black Rose. And... damn, he has the Amulet of Sea Gold, which... incidentally, doesn't reduce his spellcasting capabilities. Also, yep, of course, he has nothing in his unique line, so... Okay, sorry guys, 1 second, I've got somebody at my door, apparently, or at least there's knocking. Alright, sorry about that. Let's see. Oh, he's got 2 wizards, one of which is a level 3 only, but he does have that Astrolabe, and... I never remember. Are Gelt's wizards themselves unique, or just the items that he's able to give them unique? I don't know. Ambush defense chance plus 50%? Damn, that's nice. That's real nice. And Spirited isn't bad because of the spell intensity, though this miscast base chance is pretty darn intense. Anyway, and what about the Gold Wizard? Do you have anything interesting? You're apt, which is great for being a tech thief, Emil von Rakov, and you don't have anything interesting. Let's also have you lose this stuff. I might actually send this guy out to be a tech thief down here. He's near Gorbat already. He is level 19, I will grant, but we can reset him and make him into a permanent tech thief without having the issue of capacity. Oh, wow, Gelt never built this? Well, this is the one province really down here that we really would like to keep. And to some degree, the Citadel of Myrmidia. Anyway, don't collect the income here. We're going to need to build the defenses immediately. And then... yeah, definitely want the Circle of the Sun. Alright, Gelt himself, you're going to pop into Citadel of Myrmidia and then sit there, I guess. And do we want to reset you? I mean, obviously we do want to reset you. The issue is... oh, you haven't done your Staff of Volan's quest. Oh, beautiful. Okay, so it's good that we confederated him now, because we can still get the quest reward from doing the quest, plus enjoying the quest battle itself, which is a good thing. Anyway, take those out. Alright, I was wanting to give you an item. You have a Staff of Volan's Amulet of Sea Gold and Cloak of Metal, but you can, by the looks of it, be an Elector count. Ideally, wait, what does Solent do for you again? Just put him back in a Solent. Gives you Vanguard deployment, which is fine. And Grudge Settler is, spell resistance and leadership. That's, I'd say, decent for Gelt. I'm not so sure that there isn't better stuff for him, though. Namely... crossbows and spears in your own army, eh? I feel like that's more of a Stirland deal. We can put the Stir River Patrol in the... in that situation. 1 second. Casualty replenishment rate, yada yada yada. Alright, you know what? I will think about this and who gets to be where, but let's see if there's any battles to be found right now, because I think that I think that there's a bunch of admin that I'd like to do between the episodes so as not to waste screen time here, namely the, well, figuring out which of these need to be kept and which ones need to be transferred to armies and which ones need to be deleted, and then the same thing for whatever's going on with Gelt and his items and whatever. Oh, we're immediately also at war with these guys, so we'd probably lose Thief Snatch's fort. I wonder if we could just trade it to the elves for something, though. The distinct possibility. Not the, oh wow, Stinking Geysers is up at a fairly high level as well, and it's near the hills. Though we probably don't want to collect the income here because of the huge debuffs. Well, that will mean we'll want to fight Karl's battle reasonably soon, in terms of counteracting this stuff. I'm just checking out what we got here. I wonder if Belligar will survive. I'm not so sure about that. Anyway, let's see about moving stuff and see if we can't get a battle going. Karl, you're going to sit there because we might fight the battle. We might not, though. You are near to Griffin Wood, which we should probably take. Oh, this is probably the worst possible army that we have to attempt this sort of thing. But somebody's got to do it. You, ooh, the capital of these guys. Well, let's move you in here. Are you able to move this turn? No, but let's go to Mordheim. And we will besiege the enemy. Like so. I'm willing to bet that they'll sally out because they have a much stronger, in theory, army than we do, and they have 3 artillery pieces and we have none. So as soon as we end the turn, that'll definitely be a nice fight. What are you doing? Well, whatever. You should also be upgraded, or I'll deal with it later. Let's see if we can't find some fighting other than possibly Dolph, which is something I'd like to avoid for now, but we'll see. Boris, yes, you still need to deliver this to Karl. Go this way. You get a long way to travel, but oh wow, but there isn't a better way to get him a steam tank. Oh man, you're gonna take like 8 years to get up there. Might have been actually faster to recruit this via global recruitment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, eh? Well, maybe not that much faster. We'd saved a couple of turns, but that isn't horrific. Anyway, you are going to go here to prepare for the inevitable rebellion at Brass Keep. Certainly not going to let Festus revive like that. They'll just knock him out immediately. We'll probably have to confederate Hawkland relatively soon as well. And Waldemar, you are still plague shipinated for 1 turn? 2 turns? 2 turns. But that's alright, because you're going to have to head down here to get your army up and running anyway. So that hasn't changed. Elspeth, are you ready to attack your first Sylvanian territory? No. And she is immune to attrition from vampiric territories, so she can just move on in. And we got the delivery to make, as in... Oh, wait. We still gotta wait for the rocket battery. Alright, fine. Oh, actually, funnily enough, could have just upgraded you to a rocket battery. And just doubled up on cannons.
The men are keen.
Yeah, but then, alright, fine. We'll keep it as it is for now. Oh, right, I wanted to check. Okay, I got distracted by all the... I mean, we have so much to do now. I wanted to check, what do you have, Gelt? You have armor plus 20 for own army, which is great. But do you actually buff anything specific other than super power up the Hellstorm rockets? No, it doesn't look like it. So he just really likes Hellstorm rockets, which means we don't have to go super Hellstorm heavy with Elspeth. We can just, well, we're not anyway, so that's fine. We'll give him the Sunmaker and a couple of Hellstorms and then other things. But we're pretty much free to use anything that would require additional armor, which would help Gelt out. The thing about Gelt's army is that Gelt is such a strong caster that, you know, kind of like Kairos, anything that... really faces his army, will just lose to fighting Gelt himself. Alright, Marius Leitdorf, what do you have in terms of your stat? Defensive, which isn't too bad, actually. And I have a couple of Empire captains. I'll take a look at what, again, we need to keep and what we don't between the episodes, because this is a lot. Oh, got another wizard. Man, what's our wizard capacity at right now, just out of curiosity? 10 out of 6. Okay, so any wizard that we delete is kind of an issue, but yeah. Anyway, you know what, folks? I think I'm actually going to call this episode here. There is so much admin to do that I'd just spend the next like half hour dealing with all of this, and I'd rather not waste the time. Plus, it's a bonus episode and all that. So, I'm going to call the episode here. Next time we'll come back, hopefully pretty much immediately end the turn, fight the battle at Mordheim, and take it with Gavin while we start working on... Oh, you know what we could do? We could still fight this one little fight here. That'll be... That'll be of some difficulty, I will admit, but we can still fight it. Join Morgan Striker.
Of the Empire in finding death in glorious battle. Very well.
Alright. Might as well help correct Drenat. Hopefully they don't take too many of these territories. Oh wow, look at all those Slayers. No Slayer Pirates, dude? Come on, man. Okay, he does have the recruitment of Slayer Pirates, though, because we want those for Nordland. You're gonna take Griffin Wood. And as to how easily we'll be able to do that, I guess we're about to find out. Alrighty, and a close victory, yes. This is very much not the army for it, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So, rally, please. Now let's level up the Fire Mage. We're definitely gonna need you here, sir. Burning Head, 2nd level. Flamestorm, 2nd level. You have Earthing. Kindle Flame. Alrighty, and then Witch Hunter. Purifying Flames, Way of the Wolf, Speed, Stalk, and Snipe, and... you know what? Maybe that's the one we do. Yeah, I'm gonna say Way of the Wolf and then Shadowy Servant. It feels more appropriate for a run-and-gun type of army. We will also want to grab the Retinue, but that's at level 20, so we don't have to do anything there. A couple of points in the ward save, though. Alright. Well, let's see if we can take this. Go.
Lady Verena has granted me the wisdom to craft the finest instruments of war, and Sigmar gives us the courage to fell our foes with them.
Alright, that was actually a pretty good speech. I love it. Anyway, here we go. Let's see if we can pull this off. It's going to be an issue here, as this is not the type of army to assault a Wood Elf territory, or at the very least a Wood Elf main settlement. Not enough missile, physical, or armor, or resistances, essentially, on any of our units. But we'll see. On the bright side, we do have range going for us. We do have the Outriders. We do have Fire Magic. We do have the War Wagons, Grenades, etc. Let's see how it all pans out. Anyway, we're going to start the battle up by moving the Master Engineer and the Witch Hunter. They're essentially moving out front to scout out the enemy and drop the occasional grenade on them as well. Got to remember that the Master Engineer does have explosive damage on him. It's pretty solid. Of course, we're not going to let the enemy charge him. Just going to drop a few more grenades on the enemy, and there we go. Those Eternal Guard are going to get ripped apart by the Nordland Mariners, which are super close range at 68 range only, but certainly enough to gun down the Eternal Guard as they move towards us. Yeah, we'll put a few man-eaters in this army, put a few, well, not in this army, but in the other army, in the Nordland army, with other Nordland Mariners. Some Nordland Mariners, some more regular Free Company militia, or the Altdorf Company, New Altdorf Company, whatever, plus man-eaters, plus a few Slayer Pirates if we can get them, a few land ships, and it'll be nice and nautical. Alrighty, well, in the meantime, we got our Outriders doing some work. The enemy wanted to exchange some fire, Glade Riders versus Outriders, but we should outdamage with our guns the enemy bows by a fairly significant margin. 86 missile strength versus 21. These aren't Sisters of the Thorn after all, and they are far too weak to go for a shootout with the Outriders. We're also going to have to deal with the enemy Hawks, or had to deal with the enemy Hawks, but fortunately the War Wagons are pretty good at that sort of thing. We saw that 8 kills of the enemy Hawk Riders, and doing a little bit of rock, paper, scissors work. A Burning Head will move through the enemy just as they attempt to charge forth, and they get torn to shreds by our range units as well, and the same thing is happening to the enemy Lord, who rapidly loses his HP as the Nordland Mariners, and the grenades, for good measure, bring him down. There we go. Over on the right flank at the same time, we have been forced to charge into melee as the Pistoliers have joined the fray against the enemy range units here. There are no melee troops, or there were at least no melee troops protecting these 2 units of Swift Shiver Shards. So we kill them and then we back off rather than fight the enemy melee. Out here it looks like Malevolent Treekin were, I don't know, either attempting to charge us or attempting to charge the other elements of our army. But we slow them down, we damage them pretty significantly with all that armor piercing, and we bring them down rather quick. Too much gunfire from every side for them to be able to deal with it. And it looks like even the poor Eternal Guard cannot escape. Alright, well, they can pray to Eldrazzor, but the Lord of Blades, I'm not so sure if he knows what to do about guns. Anyway, I'm gonna back all of our Pistoliers off now. They've taken damage, but they haven't lost a lot of models, and we don't want them fighting the enemy or melee troops, while we make our way north or upward. Up the ramp and towards the enemy main capture point. There is an enemy unit of Waywatch, or Glade Guard rather, still here. But we can simply gun them down. With 3 units of Outriders, I don't imagine these guys are going to have a much better chance than the Glade Guard did. Die Outsider? Yeah, well, I don't think that's going to happen. Though I do recommend, was it Death of the Outsider? Dishonored. The DLC from Dishonored 2. But anyway, we've got Glade Guard and destroyed. We got 2 more units remaining on field, but it looks like the enemy has realized that they have no hope, that they've done very little damage, surprisingly, to our army. I guess they just didn't have the sort of necessary amount of ranged troops to punish us, really. If they had a full stack of nothing but Glade Guard, they probably would have done a lot better, but that was the reason why we attacked with this army, because the enemy garrison was not up to par, even if our own army, this particular army, is meant for field battles so that we could run and gun. Still, an interesting sort of enemy in the Wood Elves against this army, generally speaking, and maybe we can find another of Draika's armies before she's wiped out for this army to attempt to fight. Decisive victory, and the Griffin Woods, the capital of the Wargrove of Woe, will fall. Alright, honestly that went significantly better than I thought it would, minus me accidentally nearly getting the Lord killed due to him getting focused down by one of the enemy Swift Shiver Shards, but otherwise it went pretty darn okay, and we got a decent amount of prestige for our trouble as well, which we're going to need, especially with those upgraded Imperial decrees. Lovely work, and this is Draika's capital. There's no real need to revive Ostermark, so we can just occupy the place. Yeah, just occupy the place. Alrighty, let's see if there's another... hello, Book of Assure. Targeting range. That's nice. That's real nice. I think Gelt... well, okay, no, he doesn't have space for one of these items, but still pretty good. Anyway, with that, Draika's going to be a lot weaker, but we're not going to peace out. Just got to try to take as much territory as we can before Ungrim does, so that we can, you know, try to give him Orky territory or something. And ooh, we're at 72, so close to getting our Imperial authority up a little bit. I mostly want that replenishment time for the Elector Count state troops. The control and the growth is really nice as well. Anyway, folks, with that, I am going to call the episode here, and I'll deal with the annoying elements of the admin between the episodes. Ooh, hello. Free island. Can I remove? It's just a mysterious island, so it's not anything crazy. We could just grab it and march dance. This will bolster the nation with money. Those who escaped. Favorable winds, good. Additional campaign movement range. Anyway, as I was saying, I will figure out who to delete and who to keep and all of that annoying stuff between the episodes. And when we come back, we'll try to deal with the situation with Gelt and stuff. Might have to figure out who to trade all of this stuff to. Some to Tekla, some to the dwarfs most likely. Frankly, oh. It probably wouldn't give us Barrack even though it's a hilled territory, even though it is... I wonder if we could keep the hold of this territory long enough to trade it to the dwarves for green territory, like all this stuff down here. Frankly, probably warrants sending an army down here. Yep, I think it's time to ramp up. We need several armies in several locations in Bretonnia, in the Badlands, probably out here. Karl is going to go north. Actually, we'll probably need multiple armies in Bretonnia as well. So, lots of stuff to do, so stay tuned for said doing. And don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.